Well, an activity of this nature requires, for its smooth running, good planning, good scheduling, and accurate timing.
By scheduling, I suppose you mean the timetable all the way?
Yes,
Parts arrive.
That's correct. We must have the parts arrive on the machine lines from a foundry at the correct speed, and we must feed the engine assembly with them in that time.
Thank you. And down below me, the engines are on test bench, and they are turned over by a motor to detect faults, supervised by you, Mr. Roberts.
Yes.
Fine. And you detect faults on there? You can do?
We can do. We're supposed to find everyone and put an OK tag when it is OK.
Right. And so much for our machinery. But what about the passengers for this car? Now, Max Robertson is in the works of another company a mile or so away from here where the bodies are made. So over to Max Robertson.
And I am standing in the body assembly shop where the main components, the main parts of the bodywork are assembled before later the body goes on to be assembled to the engine in the main assembly line, as you'll hear. But now, before I describe the shop, I'd like just to tell you about the great press shop that we came through to get here, and how those various components of the body are made there. There are over 200 huge presses exerting anything from 900 to 1,500 and more tons, and pressing out steel sheets into the shapes that are wanted. There are gleaming silver sheets of steel, quite flimsy they look in a way, and they can be flapped to and fro almost as if they were silver paper. And down comes the great press, either the overjaw or the underjaw comes up, depending on the press, and bites relentlessly into the steel sheet, pressing it into the shape of the die on either side of the jaws. And out comes the component of the car quite marvelously. You might liken it to a housewife making cakes or jellies in a mold, or you might liken it to a dentist asking for an impression of our teeth and giving us a bit of wax to bite on. But here we need something stronger. Steel comes down on steel and forms it into the shape wanted. There are over 200 of those great presses, and they turn out thousands of parts of the body an hour. Now, in a way, those steel sheets look quite flimsy to me, but I got with me here Stan Roper, who's the assistant factory manager. He's been through it since 1931, knows every inch, every spot weld and how it's done pretty well of this factory. And tell me, do you strengthen those parts by actually pressing them?
Well, Max, as you say, the sheet looks flimsy when you see it laying there before it goes into the dies, but it is the very forming of the panel, the pressing, as you say, forming of it into the shapes that we require that gives it its strength.
Well, there we are. We've got the pressings, we've got the various components, and they go on to overhead conveyor belts and get conveyed out of that press shop into the body assembly shop, or the body in white as it's called where I'm standing. It's called that by the Americans because of the white gleaming steel, and it's rather appropriate. Now, here we've got a mass of girders overhead, of lamps overhead, because they're working here at night, of machines, sparks flying from welders, and we've got this slowly moving, wafting line of components going along overhead. Wafting along, looking rather like washing on the line in a gentle breeze. Or, no, washing's the wrong word. It reminds me of, if you can picture the parts of a suit of armor, such as a medieval knight might have worn. I can see away over there the front end of one of the models, not the one that we're actually following, which looks like the open visor of a helmet. And then all round you've got breastplates, shin guards, and all the rest of them you can imagine joined together to form that suit of armor. But in point of fact, they're joined together to form a very modern car. And they're picked off the line just when they're wanted by the assembly men, who are down here on a conveyor belt, and they weld the various parts together as the conveyor takes the frame round, the body round, and the body is held in position for that welding by what is known as the frame holding jig. Well, now that's a difficult word, but it really means something that holds the thing being worked upon accurately in position so that it can be accurately welded. You might liken it to a bacon slicing machine. You know that arm that comes down, that bar, and holds the bacon exactly in position so that each rasher is cut to the same thickness that you want.